Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BLEAV50, that's BLEAV50, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother Teja Dash. Guys, I hope you guys, I don't know if you guys stayed up last night to watch that disaster of a national championship last night. That was brutal to watch.
It was tough.
I think Georgia's backups could have beat them by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, they got that early touchdown. I'm like, okay, here we go. 10-7. And then from that point on, it was just –
that's it.
Yeah, I mean, once they kind of got on top of them, it was from a standpoint of then TCU became predictable of how they needed to play and have to play. Then, because if you looked at Georgia, the teams that had some success on them threw the ball in last year or so. But if most of those teams weren't down so big where they knew you only had to throw the ball, you know what I'm saying? So
they were eating wings on the sidelines during the game, man.
I mean, 65-7, man, the championship.
I mean, I felt
hold up, and they pulled back.
Yeah, I know.
It could have been worse.
Yeah, they got the over under by themselves. The over under.
I think Georgia was better. I don't think they were 65-7 better.
Yeah. Well, they were saying
this is the same team that beat Michigan. Michigan beat Ohio State, and Ohio State should have beat Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
So you just, maybe it wouldn't have been, maybe Ohio State, wouldn't have beat Georgia, or maybe it wouldn't have been close if Georgia would have played the way they played last night.
Yep.
But maybe there's a reason why Georgia played that way against Ohio State. They were playing from behind.
I'm not going to ask if Michigan would have done better than TCU, because I think anyone would.
Yes, they would have.
But do you think it would have been like a game?
I talked to my son about this, and he was just saying that Michigan's strength is their offensive line, per se. But he felt that the thing that Michigan liked to do and do best, they couldn't really dominate Georgia's front seven. So he felt like if you put them in a situation where they had to pass, that's not necessarily their strength. So he didn't think they could beat them, but I don't think he would have ever thought it would be like that.
Nah, they have to just control the clock and keep Georgia off the field.
They would have done that. They would have took time off the clock. The game would have, probably been a lower. They could have easily won by 14 or 2 or 3 touchdowns, but the game would have been a lower score.
That's what I thought TCU was going to try to do, just kind of dug in to get like first downs and just keep the chains moving and the clock going. But it was pulling teeth to get a yard, man. They couldn't do anything. Damn. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Felt for Max Duggan, though. I'm sure for those guys, TCU, I mean, getting to that spot where they were, that's a win in itself. And I know no moral victories in sports, but I mean,
I know when they beat Michigan, I kind of was like, okay, well, maybe they can, do a little something. And then, but you also seen the way Alabama beat Kansas State.
Yep.
And you were like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, although K-State had a little bit of a lead in the beginning of that game. K-State was actually had some fight at the beginning of that game. I thought it was
the same way. It was next score, it was 10-0. and then they put off 30 or 40 straight.
Yeah, I thought they were just going to pull away in like the second half. I didn't think it would be just killing them after that first TCU touchdown. That man, brutal.
But with the college football season behind us now, that's pretty much a couple more weeks left of the NFL. It's going to be all NBA and college basketball. So, I mean,
just us.
It's just us now. And so Sunday we had our game against the Pistons, and that was without Embiid. And so, we beat the Pistons and we're playing them again tonight. So it's Detroit time. So 2-1 without Embiid in the last 3 games. And on Sunday, James Harden scored over 24,000 points for his career, putting him 27th all time. Now, Eric, I know you don't like to talk about these all-time type rankings and stuff, but Harden was put into the NBA 75 last year, which is obviously an incredible accomplishment within itself. But do you think a ring would put him in the top 25 for a top 50 conversation all-time player?
I mean, I don't see, that's tough for me because it's like, one, a lot of those guys that are up there do have rings. And I'll give you.
I did some. You want to hear some names? I did the research.
I'll give you some scenarios, and this is that's why Steph Curry is my scenario.
Okay.
Do you think Steph Curry is better than James Harden? Do y'all think that?
Yeah, I do.
Teja, career-wise, who you think will go down with people saying is the best in their career?
I mean, people are gonna say the guy who won all the rings? Are you taking rings out of it?
I'm saying, no. Tell me who you think is the better player. Who do you think is the better player?
I think Curry's a better shooter, but I think Harden's a better player.
So if you were drafting people right now, you would take Harden over Curry?
Right now, I would take Curry.
Okay. So
anyway, it comes down to what you value more.
So that's just saying. So now most of these people that are doing these rankings, who do you think they would rank first? Ahead of Curry, right?
Yeah.
Curry, easily.
Yes.
Curry has. So if someone comes along, younger kids has never seen either one of those guys play some 30, 40 years from now, right now, and I'll add Russell Westbrook in this too. That's why that's why I always say you can't necessarily go by numbers. You have to kind of watch and see it and see how things go, because James and Russell Westbrook has more points, rebounds, and assists than Steph Curry.
Yeah.
In their career.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
A lot of people do not know that.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, especially the points.
The points is what surprises me. The other stuff doesn't surprise me.
Oh yeah, points. It's the points. I don't even think it's close.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't even think what James, you said is 27. I'll be surprised if Steph is top 40. You have to look it up. I know one time that I looked, he had just cracked like 50.
All right, I'm doing it right now.
That was maybe last year.
Wow. And what's the age? What's the age difference between the two of them? How many more years did?
A year or so.
Oh, wow.
I know. They've all missed their share of games. I mean, Russ missed us almost a season, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just say, like,
Curry is NBA 43rd.
43.
He is for about 3,200 points less. A lot's a lot.
And he's not young.
Dude, Chris Paul. Chris Paul's in the league.
Chris has more points and assists, not rebounds.
Yeah, Chris has more points than Curry. Yep. Yeah. So,
I just think that's why I don't get into all of these rankings, because it's like you got people to look at stats and be like, no, he should be, well, this is this stat. He did this. Steph Curry is my guy that just kind of nudges all that away.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't look at that's my example of why you can't just look at stats.
Because I think it also comes down to specialties too, right? Curry is the best at what he does best. And maybe the best of all time at what he does best, right?
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. Like
Harden's not the best at any of the things he does well.
But people look at a guy that, and I've had a guy that's a huge Steph Curry fan, and I play devil's advocate, and I'm saying, well, what makes him, the top point guard? Like, what makes him one of the top point guards? And he was like, I said, well, what is he the top of? I said, because you guys are confusing me. When we say another guy's great because they won, they say, well, why does winning matter? But then Steph Curry is in there majority of times because he wins.
Mm-hmm.
If Steph didn't win championships, he'd be the same guy. People wouldn't look at him the same.
Yeah. He'd be in the Harden category.
If they would. So that's what I'm saying. So you can't tell me winning doesn't matter.
It definitely does.
And his ability to because making. Here's what I said to him. He was like, well, he's the best shooter of all time, this and that. I said, well, if a guy has more points and the guy's the best shooter in the world and he made the most threes in the world and another guy has more points, what's the difference? That guy got more points. Doesn't matter how they got him.
Mm-hmm.
He has more points and he has less, but he shoots a great three.
Well, that's why the ring argument becomes into play with these kind of conversations.
So that's why I don't want people to tell me that winning doesn't matter. The eyeball doesn't matter. It's just stats.
Definitely does.
Steph Curry is that. He's the ring, the eyeball. You got to watch him, and you can't watch him and be like, nah, they better than him. If you watch him, you think that. But if you go look at just stats, you're going to be like, well, how?
So right away, when I was looking at this, I got rid of the whole guys who have rings because when you're close to another guy and he has a ring and you don't, he's going to nudge you out. If you're close to him in stats, he'll nudge you out. That's my personal opinion and how I usually see it. So I started looking at guys on the top 50 lists. I think ESPN, Complex, Bleacher Report, a bunch of them. I separated the guys that they named that didn't have rings.
Yeah. In
the top 50. Those are the guys that I'm like, okay, who is Harden passing out of these guys, right? Those are the kind of guys I look for. So you got, I named them all. So Stockton, Nash, Westbrook, Pistol Pete, Chris Paul, Carmelo, McGrady. Baylor was weird. So Baylor didn't play on the team that won, but he played earlier in the season for them. So technically no. But they list him kind of like a maybe. Ewing, Gervin, Reggie Miller, Barkley, Karl Malone, Iverson, and Adrian Dantley. Those are the guys that were named on the 3 or 4 top 50 lists that I saw that did not have rings. So then you start comparing just stats to Harden stats, is what I would say to do. And if that's the case, if he keeps playing this way, yeah, I think Harden deserves to be in the top 50, at least top 50.
I don't know, man. I just think it's tough to look at different eras. That's why I don't get into it. It's just different eras, different times.
Yeah.
Because, and maybe I'm biased, but it's hard for me to say a guy had more impact on the game and dominated the game from the two guard position more than AI if you aren't named Kobe and Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, maybe I'm biased. I've had people tell me that Dwayne Wade was better than AI. I don't really agree with that, but I don't even know if Dwayne Wade does agree with that because I know how D Wade feels about AI. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's why we're number 3. You know
Wade, what I'm saying? But Wade has the ring argument.
Yes. Well, he had 3 of them. I mean, that's eliminates it. Yeah. And he got one. He was MVP. He played well.
Yep.
So, but Jerry West, where is he in this? See, we don't know because we didn't watch him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how we just throw everybody in front of him then? We don't know.
Mm.
But I think in a way,
where's Clyde Drexler in this? You trying to tell me Clyde Drexler wasn't as good as Dwayne Wade? Or is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, and he hopped on a winning team in the end. I mean, yeah. Yeah, and some of the guys that even did get rings, they hopped on like championship teams that were already probably going to win anyway, right? Like
was he still Clyde Drexler before he won a ring?
Gary Payton, for instance, that's a good example. He won with the Miami Heat in like what, 2000 something?
The same year, yeah.
Yeah. Same team, same away team. I think he was just back.
But he's still the first ballot Hall of Fame, top 75 player too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think they said Peyton's one of the few guys that's like top something at like top high tops and points and assists.
Yes.
And a badass defender.
People never really bring up his name ever.
No, he gets shafted a lot, actually.
Yeah. Like he's not even a top 10, which is crazy to me. All these guys they mentioned, I've seen him play against all those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like he's gotten more traction lately. It's weird how guys haven't played in so long. Then all of a sudden you start to see them get a little more appreciated out of nowhere, right? Because I used to look at lists. I look at this stuff all the time periodically. And I'd say like 5 years ago, AI wasn't cracking like top 50 on like all these publication lists. But now he's like top, you look at the list now, he's like top 30, 35 on many people's lists.
Because a lot of these people that are voting now or having things to say are the younger people that was watching him play.
True. Yeah, they had more of an appreciation for it.
They have more of appreciation for him.
Where the guys that were voting it in right after you retired were the haters he had during his tenure.
The people that didn't like him or did see him differently, kind of like, he didn't do this and that, because the whole thing it was like, you didn't win the championship, you were this, and you were bad off the court, so it felt like I don't have anything to do with this.
Yeah.
My favorite, Kobe's better. Well, that doesn't mean he's bad.
Exactly.
What happened to this whole like?
Because somebody's better, don't make you bad.
Yeah, we were talking about how like the guy, someone for the Bleav Network, I forgot who it was. We were talking about Marcus. Pac-Man. I was like, why is he talking Mahomes? Because he likes Burrow. I was like, why can't two guys be good? Why do you have to dog Mahomes? Like Burrow?
That's what this whole like with LeBron and MJ and all these. Like, you can't say LeBron is good without somebody saying MJ's better. Like what? Like
you can't.
That's not what I was talking about.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. It's
why can't they both just be excellent? That's it.
Yeah.
You guys are younger than me. This whole ranking generation, they messed y'all all up, man. With all these
I'd say that the original top 50 list came out in the 90s, though. They didn't rank the players, but
that's the difference. They didn't rank them.
They didn't rank them, but they said these guys are a step above, right? So
top 75, and it was maybe only, from what I heard, it was probably 4 or 5 guys that were like should have got in. It wasn't like a big list of people that should have got in.
Oh, that weren't in, you mean?
Yes, they weren't in. Mm-hmm. Dominique Wilkins come to mind. A guy like Alice English who didn't even get in top 75.
True. He was on when they did the top 50.
He was on the verge of the top 50.
Yeah. I know. It's weird, right? It's weird.
So, even with the top 75, it's like, how many people were there that people were like, man, he should have got in? Less than 10
I can make an argument. I think we talked about this like last year. Dwight Howard was one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but it was less than 10 people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That list isn't really big for people whoever you felt got shafted. Like, it's not a really big list. I mean, for the most part, it's accurate. It's just, the older guys that no one, like our age or whatever, seen play. It's just hard to have a guy like him on there, and maybe he averaged 14, 15 points, and then you have another guy, like you say, Dwight Howard, that averaged 20 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said the times is just so different. So, as far as James, top 50, I mean, I guess he has an argument. He has an argument. And I think it's just depends on who's picking, who's voting, who's picking.
Yeah.
They like him, whether they like his style, whether they, think that what he does is effective and good basketball.
He has helped change the game. That's another little thing on his record too.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was for the better or the worse.
Yeah, not only
he changed it.
That's another thing. Like, I don't really get into someone changed the game. Like, you didn't necessarily change the game. Like, even with Steph, they say he changed the game. Like, the game is still played. It's still basketball. I mean, people take 3-point shots and shoot them from deep. Like, that ain't like it's still teams that don't play that way. Like, it's a few guys that shoot from deep. Like, it's not the whole league shooting from.
He changed the emphasis then.
No, because people were Gilbert Arenas did that when I played against him. He was shooting that deep.
He was.
Yeah, that's true.
Flashy, man.
Mahmoud did it. Like, I mean, it was done, but it was considered a bad shot back then.
Yeah, it wasn't their game. Curry does it 15 times a game now.
But
though.
Curry wouldn't play like that with us because you were able to have a hand or a forearm on his hip.
You'd be doing that like 35 feet away from the basket though with him?
What I'm saying is you did it to control. You didn't do it to prevent him from getting a shot. You did it to control him, which direction he would go, to try to keep him on one half of the court, to try to cut down the court, to make it harder for them to score. If you can send him on one side, you cut down the court, you know which side's the strong side, which side's the weak side. You're able to take away lanes, and now everybody behind you knows where he's at, where he's going. You're keeping him on one side, most likely his weak hand, or to whichever direction you want him to go, or send him away from their strength, or send him away from the direction of the play he's trying to run. It's just part of a scheme. But he's too good of a player to consistently take shots from that deep with somebody on his hip. He would have found different ways to make it happen. I'm not saying that he wouldn't have been effective. He would have been effective, but he wouldn't have been effective like that. You know what I'm saying? He would have been effective of maybe coming off screens or getting the ball and give and go, like different ways he would have did it. But that's why guys weren't really shooting it from that far, because it wasn't considered a good shot.
That's what I mean by changing the game. Like, he made that a not bad really, shot.
That's what I'm saying, but that's not changing the game. That's the rules allows them to do that, because no one can force you into that predicament where they have their hand checking you or their form guarding you. So he didn't come in and make them change that. They changed that because of the way we were playing, and they didn't like it.
Yeah.
So now all they're doing is just taking advantage of what the rules are now. He can't defend me. He can't play me tight. So now I'm going to spread this offense. I'm going to make him come out here and guard me, and I'm going to shoot this deep shot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, his ability to do it is what makes him special. But I don't think it's necessarily changing the game, because you don't see every team that's having everybody do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because some guys will just get benched for it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just him and Dame and Trae Young. Like, I see
Trae Young.
I see consistently doing it. I see other guys shooting them. But I'm talking about if I was coming in and I felt like, hey, if it's three guys in the league that I got to guard, I better have some toes and heels at half court if I'm guarding them. It'll be those three guys.
Paul George pulls up for some long ones too.
Not like them guys.
It's not.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like those three guys. I'm thinking in my mind that I got to guard them off the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who's way back to Sixers. Maxey's on his way there too. He pulls up deep. He doesn't do it 15 times a game.
Yeah, but the difference is when he pulls up deep and he missed. You ever seen the body language of Joel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big difference between the.
You know what the body language is saying? You're not Steph. That body language.
I'm just saying.
It's like
that's the difference.
All right, man.
Steph missed those shots. They be like, shoot it again. He'll get the next one.
Yeah. But that's a problem. A lot of guys in their heads are like, I can do that too. I can shoot that. I can make that consistently.
Yeah, but they do it twice. Their coach tells them never do that again, and that's it.
Yeah.
The end of that. All right, so the next topic here. So this is interesting. So last week, or I think 2 weeks ago, we had it was actually after the Raptors game. We talked about Pascal Siakam. How do we stop him? We had a crap ton of Raptors fans comment on the video, the clip, and some were saying that they had talked about that team's kind of like imploding right now. Scotty Barnes, there's a lot of stuff going on with their coaching staff, the players, and all that stuff there. And so it's rumors now that coming out that at one unnamed Eastern Conference scout said they're a talented team, yet it just hasn't worked out. And there's possible rumors with trade deadline coming up soon in the next 2 months. I think a lot of these guys could be on their way. So My question to you guys is, which Raptors player do you think would fit the best with us currently?
Go ahead, Teja. You can go first. You that money guy.
Yeah. I would say no. Okay, so I did. With our situation, it's tough. The only way we could do anything like that would be goodbye Tobias and to another team, and that'd be tough. I answer the question just as if take our team right now and who would fit best with just us, right? Yeah. I went Anunoby is who I chose. I didn't choose their best player, most dynamic player. I chose Anunoby. I just think career 37%, 3-point shooter, 17-6, last 3 seasons, 2 steals and a block. He's 6'7", a really good defender. He can play that 3. He can guard the Tatums and the Browns of the world because we only have anyone who could do that right now. I just think he would fit perfectly for what we need right now. If you took him, plucked him, put him in our team, not very plausible because he makes 18, 19 or something around there. And again, to do something like that, we need to give up a lot of assets because Toronto doesn't play with as far as getting screwed on trades. They do not get screwed on trades, and it would take shipping out Harris, bringing out someone else in. But Anunoby would be my choice for our team.
Yeah, I mean that was my choice, and if I had to go with someone different, I was thinking, was it Boucher? I was thinking him, sort of because of his height, and maybe he can play with Joel a little bit.
And he kills us every time he plays us.
Yeah, I do like him a little bit because he kind of gives us something we don't have. The 3-point shooting with a little more size and height.
Yeah, it's true.
If not him, then Little G, Trent, Gary.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, the best player is
I think your pick is the probably the best fit, but I do think those other 2 can fit as well.
I just think with Barnes, he kind of has that point.
Yeah, I like Scotty the best.
Yeah,
I
like
think
Scotty.
he's the best fit for our team.
Yes.
And plus, I don't think they're moving him.
Yes, I just think Barnes has the ball in his hands too much. OG can score without having the ball in his hands a lot, which is exactly what
they're not moving Scotty.
Yeah. Or I mean, Siakam, he just has the ball in his hands too much, and we already have. Sorry,
I believe they'll move Siakam before they move Barnes.
Maybe just because of contract and age. Not that Siakam's old by any means.
Skill.
What?
Because of skill
and ceiling. But that was one of the complaints I read too. They're a little. Some people in the organization.
Scotty's only 21 years old, man.
Yeah, they're a little upset that he hasn't really gotten better from last year to this year. He hasn't improved in a lot of parts of his games. Some of the things floating out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen his offseason workouts. He works out.
I don't know how you can when you got other guys trying to shoot ball every time they get it.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they just have too many. They have too many guys.
Too many light-sized guys.
Yeah. They're kind of like it's a lot of redundancy on that team too, right? Like Trent, Van Fleet, not the same player, but smaller guys who jack up threes. And you got Siakam and Barnes are kind of fitting that 3-4 range, who have the ball in their hands and create for other people a lot. It just, I don't know. I feel like they have a lot of redundancy they maybe get rid of. Why do you think it hasn't worked? Do you think it's just because they have too many of the same type of guy? Because they have a really talented team, and they were definitely trending up last year.
No, I think some injuries early in the season, and I just think
really good team on paper.
But the one thing I think that's really happened is I don't think Van Vliet has played well this year.
No, he's been dinged up, and he has not had his best season.
And I think they have the type of team that they kind of need everyone that plays to be who they are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one that's not like any of those other guys.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the one thing that in playing against them, what was our biggest concern with them? Was what besides transition was offensive rebound.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so if he's not really breaking
and they can switch because they have a lot of
he's
big
not
guys.
breaking down the defense and get in there and making shots and getting you in pick and roll and causing trouble, a lot of those offensive rebounding opportunities aren't coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I said it when we play him, I'm like, he just don't look the same. I don't know if he's injured or what.
Yeah.
So like I said, I think the injuries and just some guys I think it's guys just hadn't played that way.
From what I've heard, Trent's probably first to go. So
easier to move. First to go doesn't necessarily mean that you can't play. That just means that you.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
You're more desired. He fits his style and way he plays, along with his salary, fits more teams.
Yes, for sure. I think you might even get more takers for him than a Van Fleet.
Yeah, I mean the shooting is always a premium now.
Mm-hmm. Shooting, he plays defense, and he's cheaper.
The size, yeah. So.
I saw some Sixers fans would like us to get the Cameroonian low post with Embiid and a Siakam. Do you think there would be any plausible way we could get to flip Tobias for how would the money work on that one? Tobias for Siakam now?
Not money. Toronto wouldn't say yes to that.
Well, no, you throw some sweeteners in there. You give them some first round picks and pick swaps.
We only have that conditional possible 29th if the 25 and 27 don't convey. That's not moving the needle, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lateral move to me.
Yeah. Now, if you did okay, big Maxey fan, Marcus. How about Siakam and Trent for Maxey and Harris?
You said Maxey, he ain't gonna make a trade.
That's tough, right?
That's tough.
Yeah, that's tough.
How's that tough? How you think Maxey's the best player, the second best player on the team, and you consider it that trade?
Well, no,
that's all you've been talking. That's all you've been talking about was how good Maxey is. How can you even consider that trade if that's the case?
Because Mel's
we talked about Kevin Durant coming here, and you talk about as long as we keep Maxey.
That's true.
And now you're gonna consider this trade?
Well, I will. In his defense for that one, Siakam and Trent are still very young, so it keeps your window open long too, right? With Durant in that Durant deal, it was. We win the next 2 years.
The same stuff y'all say about Tobias. You guys will be saying about Siakam when he gets here.
That's true.
Or worse.
Tell you what, though, just saying, Harden, Trent, Tucker, Siakam, Embiid, pretty good.
I feel like we would have a lot more. I feel like Sixer fans would dog on Siakam a lot more because he's a ball dominant guy, and that's another ball dominant guy we have. At least Tobias is fitted to this, this a shooter role that he's in right now.
Oh, Harris fits more with what we do for sure. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. If you had Trent and Maxey and not Harden, then I think you can go a little more Siakam with a little more of a ball dominant player. But Siakam and Harden, I don't think would work that well.
Yeah.
And Embiid, it's too much, man. There's one ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad trade, right?
Okay.
I don't know. Hey, Eric's got me feeling insecure about my about me wanting that
trade. Your Maxeyism? You're maxed out on Maxey?
Maxey, man, and now all of a sudden y'all just
maybe
giving him away.
He hasn't played in about a month. Maybe
you just giving him away. He gets injured, and all of a sudden you give him away.
Mm-hmm. A few more.
You couldn't even trade him for KD this summer, man.
He's maxed out on Maxey.
Yeah,
No. I'll be fine with Maxey. Give it a week or two when he starts looking like the normal Maxey we know.
He starts jacking up and hitting 35-footers again.
Oh yeah, the Steph Curry shots.
There you go. All
right, just asking.
All right, final topics. We have our predictions. So tonight we are hosting the Pistons again. We're a 13.5-point favorite. Embiid, he's been upgraded to questionable to play tonight. So there's a chance we might see some Embiid action tonight against the Pistons. 13.5-point favorite at home. Who do you guys have in this one?
We'll win, but we will not cover. Joel doesn't play.
Ooh, okay.
Emphatic cover, not cover this week. All right. It opened as 9. It's 13.5 now. I'd like to see what happens when MB is declared out.
It jumped up when that upgrade happened this morning because I think people.
Oh, really? The possibility of him playing went up 4.5 points, huh?
Because he went to shoot around today, so that's a big.
So I'm very curious because if it doesn't go down that much at all, then I'd be happy taking us because I think they're trying to bait people into taking the Pistons on a very large spread if we have no Embiid.
I'm taking the Pistons with or without him, Joel.
Wow.
Okay.
And Tucker was at shoot around again today as well. So that's another person who
we'll win, but we won't cover.
Yeah, I'll say we're going to win for now. I reserve my opinion.
Just my non-monetary.
What do you mean? It all depends on what the line movement is.
I don't know.
Give me a weird look.
I like Eric's answer on this one. With or without MB, he's sticking with his plus 13.5 on that one.
No, I'll do a stipulation. You want to stipulate? I'll do a stipulation. Yeah. If we don't move the line more than 2 points,
give me an if with MB without.
Well, no, that's not fair.
Oh, bro.
Okay. With Embiid, we will not cover. How about this? With Embiid, we will not cover 13.5. If we move it down like 2 points without him, I think we cover, which is really weird.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So last one, Thursday night, Thunder, the Oklahoma City Thunder travels to Philadelphia to play us. Line has not come out yet. Don't know if we'll have Embiid or any of our other guys. I have a feeling if Embiid does not play tonight, he'll definitely play in that game on Thursday. But we'll see. So who do you guys have Thunder Thursday?
We'll win it. We got to get ready for this road trip that's coming up. So we got to win these home games.
So I was looking at this. OKC, man, not a joke lately. Seriously, they're 18-22, won 3 out of their last 4. Mavs, Wizards, and Celtics. Good victories. They're playing. Yeah, they're playing the Heat, and they obliterated the Celtics. Like they made people on like all the talk shows question the Celtics. That's how bad they beat them.
It's true.
I don't know about all that, but still, if they beat the Heat tonight, it's another good victory. That's 4 out of 5 if they win tonight. I'll take us, and we don't know what the spread is yet, but I'm taking us in that game with or without Embiid.
All right, there you go. There's some conviction behind that one, at least.
There's no spread.
Yeah.
There's no spread to it. So.
Yeah, you're something else, dude.
Hey, play the ball as it lies.
All right, fellas. Well, hopefully we by next time we see each other on Friday, we're 2-0 with or without Embiid. Another thing. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys Friday.
Take it easy.
Bye, guys.